Coming up, a great weekend in Battle Creek. We've got the highlights from the regional fly-in, and the final one of the year is coming up in Prescott, Arizona. We take you inside the crash lab at Embry-Riddle. It's 8 acres you hope to never have a place in. Plus, general aviation at work around the world. Find out how airplanes serve some of the most needy people on Earth. And a brand new bomber gets her name. AOPA Live this week is just ahead.
Experience the thrill from closer than ever before when the Ultimate Motorsports Series takes to the sky. The Red Bull Air Race World Championship is coming to Indianapolis Motor Speedway October 1st and 2nd. Tickets now on sale.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Haynes. Melissa is off this week. Well, it's more fun than a secret decoder ring hidden in your cornflakes. Nearly 2,000 people came to Cereal City for our AOPA Battle Creek fly-in. AOPA Live's Josh Cochran has the story.
It seems like nothing can keep people away from AOPA's regional fly-ins. The forecast called for rain on Saturday, but airplanes and campers showed up on a beautiful Friday afternoon. One of the campers, Ed Loxterkamp, has been to most of the AOPA fly-ins in the last 3 years. We talked to him in Tullahoma last year, and he has kept coming since, this time with a new goal.
Well, when you look at the map at all the places I went to, I hit most of the states. So then this year's objective became landing in all the remaining states in the lower 48.
Music and barbecue brought guests together at the Barnstormers party as the sun set.
Despite all the rain this morning, all these pilots came out to learn about how they can get back in the cockpit at our Rusty Pilot Seminar.
Gregory Pope hasn't flown since 2005, and he wants to get active again to teach his grandson to fly.
The seminar was very in-depth, very informative. It illuminated the areas that I need study.
About the time Rusty Pilots ended mid-morning, glimpses of blue sky were coming through, and people started showing off their airplanes. John Spore's rare and beautiful Comanche 400 got a lot of attention.
Comanche's a fine airplane, and they've made everything from 180 engine versions up through the 400 and even into the twins. This allowed everybody to see that you can take an older airplane and have a lot of performance today.
Groups of kids gathered around a glider as John DeRosa talked about the experience of soaring.
When I fly in a glider, everything else in my life kind of goes to the back, and all I'm thinking about is staying up in the air, finding the next thermal, getting to a turn point or another airport, and then making it back again and see how fast I can do it.
Moving on to something that uses a little more fuel, this old warbird was giving rides.
This airplane is a B-25D Mitchell, served in the Mediterranean Theater of Operation. This is an actual combat veteran with 8 missions documented, and it's based at Willow Run Airport in Ypsilanti, Michigan, as part of the Yankee Air Museum.
Despite the rain, learning, community, and of course airplanes just couldn't keep the crowds away.
We're just really glad that AOPA decided to do the regional fly-ins here. That made it a lot easier for us to come to one of these and get to see everybody and go to the seminars. So
and also, I'm glad I came along with them. I'm here to see a whole lot of amazing airplanes.
All right.
In Battle Creek, Michigan, Josh Cochran, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Josh. And a good time had by all, despite the rain in the morning. And I don't think we'll have quite that much rain in Prescott coming up on October 1st. Nonetheless, great time. Thank you to all the AOPA Live This Week viewers who stopped by to say hello to us. We look forward to hearing from you always. Now, hey, there's an improved tool you can use to flight plan your way to the AOPA regional fly-ins. You may already know about an app called AOPA Go. Well, now you can download approach plates, airport diagrams, procedures, and other documents to the new version of AOPA Go. You can store them on your device for use offline. Eric Rush is the lead on the project's team. He says the new version is timely with the upcoming Prescott regional fly-in.
And we actually have the Prescott NOTAM and the Prescott Pilot Information Pack. Both of those PDF documents are in the downloads library, so anybody that's flying to Prescott for that fly-in, just go ahead and download those. You can keep that in AOPA Go.
And we've heard you. You can now download all the databases and document updates with one button. No more waiting to get things current item by item. AOPA Go is available in the App Store or on Google Play. And we hope you do use AOPA Go to join us in the desert. We're now just a little over a week away from our final fly-in of the year. We'll be in Prescott, Arizona, September 30th and October 1st. There's still plenty of time for you to RSVP and check out the schedule of activities. You can find the complete schedule on our website. A unique opportunity for folks who arrive on Friday is a guided tour of the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Crash Lab. Here's more from AOPA Live's Warren Morningstar.
If you look at all of the evidence, this wing had to go up.
Each piece of wreckage has a story to tell. Bill Waldock students are learning how to listen to what the airplane is telling them, what happened, and more importantly, why.
He's a 203-hour private pilot with an instrument ticket that's not even wet.
This is the Robertson Aircraft Accident Investigation Laboratory. 8 acres of high Arizona desert, 11 aircraft accident scenes, just as the NTSB investigators found them.
But we go to the effort of actually laying the site back out as it was in the original crash. If it had a fire, we'll put the fire back on it.
Embry-Riddle has the most complete scenario-based accident investigation facility in the country. Today is the first time the class has been out in the field. This Piper Warrior, their first accident scenario. The clues to what happened?
Take a look at flap handle.
It's deployed.
Yeah, it's fully deployed. This airplane's capable of 40 degrees of flaps. Why is it deployed?
Both flaps separated from the aircraft. The tail is broken off too, with some interesting damage.
See this big dent in the leading edge? That's the flap.
The wreckage tells us that the left wing failed up.
See these cuts here? What do you think did that? Cable's coming through. The wing is already failing, it's going up. That's one of the things that we can use to tell us direction it failed.
The spar angle confirms the failure direction.
More than likely, he's gotten this airplane into an updraft and he's going up top like a bat out of hell and doesn't know why, and he can't get it to slow down. He tried to use his flaps for speed brakes. Doesn't work when your airspeed's somewhere up in the top of the yellow arc.
The students seem a bit overwhelmed. Maybe it's because a young man lost his life in this accident. Today, it was mostly a pile of broken aluminum. But by the end of the semester, they'll be better able to decode the clues hidden in plain sight. Warren Morningstar, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Warren. Bill Waldock and our own George Perry, head of the AOPA Air Safety Institute, will be conducting tours of the crash lab next Friday during the Prescott fly-in.
And our visitors are going to have a chance to take a tour up here and learn some things about these accidents that we've got up here. I thought I'd show everybody the ones that have the best lessons, like that Air Commander. Always watch the gas folks, and if in doubt, pop your fuel caps, because just sumping your fuel tanks won't reveal the kerosene.
That's because right after the fueling, kerosene floats to the top of the tank. But Bill says you can smell it if you pop the fuel caps. There are plenty of other lessons to be learned from the mistakes of others, including sometimes the pilot isn't at fault. Like a Cessna 401 accident, it suffered an explosion and fire in the air.
There's no way that that pilot could have known that his left aileron was about to break off. He had a fire on the airplane, he'd had part of his wing blown off. The airplane's still flying, and he's already got the field made, and he puts the gear down. When he does that, it changes the forces on that left wing and on the aileron, which is already cracked from the original explosion. Aileron comes off, he arcs up and over, and he's really not in control. So from that point, there's nothing he can do, but there's no way he can know it.
You can sign up for the Friday tour of the Embry-Riddle Crash Lab on our website. There are only a limited number of slots available, so best to act quickly. And remember, if you plan to come to any part of the Prescott fly-in, please RSVP on our fly-in websites. And the Air Force is looking for answers after a U-2 crash in California. One of the 5 2-seat U-2 Dragon ladies crashed after takeoff on a training mission. The pilots ejected, but one, however, did not survive. From legacy airframes to the future of stealth technology, the next generation stealth bomber has a name. It will be called the B-21 Raider in recognition of the Doolittle Raiders. The B-21 is a long-range strike bomber under development. It's expected to enter service in the mid-2020s. And now, going back in time, got a few $1 million lying around and don't know what to do with it? Well, you could buy a replica of what is considered the world's first airliner. The airplane is a replica of the Junkers F-13, the first all-metal commercial airplane. The replica just made its first official flight. The original, it was built in 1919, and it shaped the future of commercial air travel. The replica was designed and built by luggage maker Rimowa. Rimowa's luggage and the F-13 are made out of a unique ridged metal. From here, Rimowa is planning to certify and sell the airplane. Coming up after the break, a new way to track airplanes around the world, and aviation at work in Africa, helping the world's most needy. We'll be right back.
Purchasing your own aircraft is an exciting experience. AOPA Finance simplifies the process, saving you money with lower interest rates and hassle-free loans, so you get into your new aircraft sooner. AOPA Finance, the right approach to buying an aircraft.
Well, there's a matchup. Welcome back. This video from the Red Bull Air Race World Championship Series shows pilot Kirby Chambliss going wingtip to wingtip with IndyCar racer Alex Rossi. The world's fastest motorsport series roars into Indianapolis next weekend. October 1st and 2nd, the series will pit pilot versus pilot in one of the greatest displays of stick and rudder skill out there. AOPA Live will be there to cover the race and bring you an inside look at the series. And Saturday night, there's an exclusive party offer for AOPA members at the air race. You're hearing the band Edison, who will play for us on the Yard of Bricks in Indianapolis. The Brickyard Bash will let you get up close and personal with one of the most famous icons of motorsports. Head to our website for more information. There's a major innovation in flight tracking. FlightAware and Aireon have developed a new technology that will help prevent airliners from going missing in the future. The technology uses a group of satellites to track ADS-B transponders. The position information will be near real-time and available anywhere in the world. And speaking of flying all over the world, Florida pilot Julie Wang just completed a record-breaking flight. Julie's team says she is the first Chinese woman to fly a single-engine airplane solo around the world. Julie's trip took 17 days with 155 hours of flight time. We talked to her at Oshkosh, where she said she was especially looking forward to flying into China.
It's very positive information for all the other Chinese people who love to fly.
Julie will receive a $150,000 prize for being the first Chinese woman to complete that trip. Well, airplanes can take you around the world. They can also bring the world to you. And if you're in a remote region of Africa, for example, that can mean the difference between life and death. AOPA Pilot Magazine sent a crew to Uganda to see how general aviation is the link that saves and improves lives. Here's the story from AOPA senior photographer Chris Rose with narration by Tom Horn.
In Central Africa, in the Congo, this is true. Lush green hillsides hide the seeds of conflict. The smiles of carefree children obscure the unrelenting poverty. Into this world comes the airplane. Air Serv Limited's team of international pilots fly Cessna Caravans into remote airstrips, bringing needed supplies, medicine, food, doctors, and a helping hand. These life-sustaining gifts benefit people who could live in an Eden if it were not for the one thing that distorts their world: conflict. Tribal and political changes erupt, and disease, malnutrition, and displacement change the landscape. A quiet village becomes a cesspool, a place of war. Children suffer. Progress pauses. Lives end.
Air Serv is a U.S.-based not-for-profit organization, been around for some 33 years now, with a mission of providing what we call last-mile air transportation to support humanitarian programs and disaster relief operations.
Air Serv has a fleet of fixed-wing aircraft. Several serve Doctors Without Borders full-time. Others help humanitarian and aid missions across Africa and around the world. For these pilots, it's a calling.
And I had always wanted to fly in Africa since I started flying. So I came out here and initially worked as a mechanic until my licensing and whatnot came through. And then
Why
started.
did you always want to come to Africa?
The romance of flying in Africa, the bush, the excitement. It's true aviating.
Has it been that way since you got here?
Well, with romance, there's highs and lows. So yes, it has been, but it's been great, you know, and it's been a fantastic learning experience. I continue to learn every day.
But when I got checked out in the caravan, it was like I'd been knighted, and it's like, you can go anywhere. And I was like, are you kidding me? Really? So you make your way out. I was just very, very fortunate, and I think fortunate, even lucky, many times.
Air Serv will breach Africa's unpredictable weather, overcome its challenging landscapes, and risk harm to be here, restoring Eden as well as mankind can.
It's really great to see general aviation airplanes being used for such great purposes around the world. The entire story is in the October issue of AOPA Pilot Magazine. The digital edition is out now. That's going to do it for us this week. Next week, we will bring you the show from the AOPA Prescott Regional Fly-In. We want to leave you this week with some more of photographer Chris Rose's shots from Uganda. Look for much more in the magazine. See you next Thursday from Arizona.